Space travel is full of surprises. Astronauts know this better than anyone. Sunita Williams and Butch Wilmore experienced this firsthand. They launched to the International Space Station in June 2024. Their mission was supposed to last only 8 days, but sometimes plans change. A problem with their ride home forced them to stay in space much longer. Their short mission turned into a 9-month stay. Williams and Wilmore were not alone on the ISS. They were part of a larger crew. They conducted research and performed maintenance. Life on the space station continued, but the thought of returning home was always on their minds. They missed their families and friends. They missed the feeling of the sun on their skin and the wind in their hair. Their ride home was the Boeing Starliner capsule. It was a new spacecraft. The Starliner was designed to take astronauts to and from the ISS. It was supposed to be a symbol of American innovation in space, but during their time in space, the Starliner ran into trouble. The capsule experienced several malfunctions. These malfunctions made it unsafe for the astronauts to use for their return journey. The news of the Starliner's problems was disappointing. Williams and Wilmore knew that their return to Earth would be delayed. They understood that spaceflight is inherently risky. They also knew that their safety was the top priority, so they waited patiently on the ISS. They continued their work, knowing that help would arrive eventually. The Starliner capsule's malfunctions were a setback for Boeing. The company had been working on the spacecraft for years. The problems were traced back to the propulsion system. The Starliner suffered from helium leaks and thruster malfunctions. These issues made it impossible to guarantee a safe return for the astronauts. NASA engineers worked tirelessly to understand the issues. They conducted extensive tests and simulations. They wanted to find a solution that would allow the Starliner to complete its mission. But the problems proved to be more complex than initially thought. It became clear that a quick fix was not possible. The Starliner's failure had broader implications for the US space program. It highlighted the challenges of developing reliable and safe spacecraft. It also underlined the importance of having backup options for crew transportation. The situation called for a different solution, a rescue mission. NASA turned to its commercial partner, SpaceX, for help. SpaceX had become a reliable partner for NASA. Their Dragon spacecraft had already flown astronauts to and from the ISS. NASA decided to use a Dragon capsule named Freedom for the rescue mission. 2 experienced astronauts were assigned to the mission, Nick Hague and Alexander Grebionkin. Hague and Grebionkin launched to the ISS in December 2024. They arrived at the station after a 2-day journey. Their arrival was a welcome sight for Williams and Wilmore. Finally, they had a way to get back home. The 2 crews spent several weeks together. They shared stories and experiences. They also prepared for the upcoming handover and return journey. After emotional farewells, Williams, Wilmore, Hague and Grebionkin boarded the Dragon Freedom capsule. They undocked from the ISS, beginning their descent towards Earth. The capsule splashed down safely off the coast of Florida on March 18, 2025. The astronauts were recovered and brought ashore. Their return was met with relief and celebration. The world watched as the astronauts emerged from the capsule. They were smiling and waving, happy to be back on solid ground. After medical checks, Williams and Wilmore were reunited with their families. They could finally enjoy the simple pleasures they had missed for so long.